Oh God. Just have to stop. No, I haven't got diarrhea. This is my shop place. This is, what on earth has happened to the Armchair Detective? What's happening there? My eyes are watering. Not through joy or diarrhea. Has he lost it? I don't know whether he's lost it or he's pretending to lose it because it's sexy. I'm so disturbed. The singing. What's happening? Anyway, I guess Alan knows what he's doing. Thank God, because no one else does. I guess this is what happens when you take away someone's main reason for being, which is money. So obviously, Alan Vinicum, the Armchair Detective, was, taken off. He was trolled off again. Nothing to do with his hate speech and being banned by YouTube, which has got nothing to do with individual reports and all this kind of stuff. It was him. It's his doing. It's your doing, Alan, that got you banned from YouTube. But he can't stand that, can he, old Alan? So he has to go then to the official Armchair Detective channel and try and get his views up and his hours up, because then he can sort of get super chat again. My nose is really red. It's very cold here. He can get super chat again. He can get money again. So he'll do it any way possible. I'm surprised he hasn't sort of turned himself inside out or made himself a martyr to the god of wind or something. But yeah, he's saying, what, if you support me, I'm just on Patreon now, if you support me, then come on, let's watch my official channel, Armchair Detective, to get my watching hours up, so he can get money. It's not really working, is it, Alan? It's funny that your new channel, your other channel, doesn't have that many subs, does it? I wonder what's going on there. From 60,000 to 2. Interesting. Anyway, each to their own. But yeah, I just hope that maybe people are starting to wise up now that all these ridiculous stories, come on. I always have to check that no one's around me because I feel embarrassed talking to a camera. All the stories, all the ridiculous. When you look back, and even just having a sort of week's break from this odious cretin, and you look back at the stories, it's like you're remembering a holiday that you went on a couple of weeks ago, and you remember you were there, and you remember how it felt. But it just seems ages and ages ago, and you can't quite believe it happened, or an incredibly drunk night that you had, and you can't quite believe it happened, but it did. When you look back at the stories, the Chrissy, the Blair story, the woman with sideburns, and the fact that apparently Nicole Kessinger was wearing a ponytail, the same sweatshirt as she was wearing to a police interrogation room, and a handbag to assist in a murder of 4 people. And all the ludicrousness, the fact that yoga was some evil thing, the fact that, and I quote Alan Vinicum, these women who are independent and have jobs and stuff are breeding a generation of female killers. Yes, he did actually say that. So I'm just hoping that when people step back, his subs, when they step back and they see the ludicrousness, the pattern, that each night there was breaking news. Each night there was something incredibly huge that was going to happen, and did happen, and didn't happen. And then he was going to accuse someone else, and then this happened, and then finally he was speaking to Chris Watts. Through Blair, not through Blair, not through Blair. Blair's gone, Chris is gone. He's speaking to Chris Watts, but yet, and he does polls, and he's reached the pinnacle. So he's got nowhere else to go. So he kind of shafted himself. I'm sure this is a person that did originally love having a YouTube channel and was pretty good at, chatting to people, but it's a person that shouldn't have been left to their own devices, because it's a person who shouldn't be sort of left in their own head for too long, because what his brain is telling him is the right thing is not the right thing. And that goes for quite a lot of what's happening on YouTube at the moment. Is that people do have a right to their own lives. They do have a right not to reply to you. They do have a right not to, if they're poked, not to react. They do have a right to just not want anything to do with you. There's a group of people on here who just don't understand that. They don't understand, obviously, how to sort of be in society. They don't understand that someone has the right not to want anything to do with them, not to want to talk to them or engage with them. And that doesn't mean that they're a criminal, or you're a criminal, or that you've done something wrong. You just don't want anything to do with this person. And as an adult, we've all had that. We've all had someone, who doesn't want anything to do with you, whether that be a lover or an associate, or they just don't want to be friends with you, really. And you have to accept that as an adult, right? You have to accept a boundary. You have to accept other people's wants and needs. And if they don't want and need you, that's part of it. You kind of got to accept that and let people choose that, have that. Think about social media is that, and the way that our brains neurologically now are being developed is that we have ultimate control of what we're doing online. If we're playing a game, we have control of who we're playing, what we're doing. If we die, we obviously don't really die, but we tried and all this kind of stuff. And then whatever we're doing, we are the ones in control. We're controlling our own destiny on social media, who we choose to talk to, what we do, blah, 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 blah. And so the idea of conflict resolution in reality, which is that there is a problem, or you don't get on with someone, or something has gone wrong, we're losing the ability to be able to sort it out as adults and be able to cognitively work through the steps, to be able to find resolution calmly. Without absolutely bouncing off the walls, which is a massive part of growing up. That, I don't know, people don't talk about it enough, but it is. I wish people had spoken to me more about it, which is fortitude and conflict resolution are two massive keys in being a healthier adult and being able to function in society, and especially in business, in the world. Conflict resolution is something that's key to being able to continue with your life in a healthy manner and have healthy relationships. And the digital world kind of has taken that away from us. It's a bit like being on a treadmill. It's taken away the ability. It's only taking your feet behind you. It's taken away the air. It's taken away the resistance. It's taking away part of the move of running. And digital media has kind of done the same thing with our neurological pathway, that one. The conflict resolution one. It's taken it away from us. We've got out of practice. And what I'm seeing more and more, especially in this community, which is full of, as I said, very oversensitive, if not too sensitive people. And I say that in a very, very kind way. That there's no way that they can get conflict resolution. So they just continue to make videos and say the same thing and have a sort of circular behaviour to try and affect the other person. If the other person doesn't want anything to do with them, they are doing the same thing and it's not getting anywhere. It's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If someone doesn't want anything to do with you, there's no point in then making video after video after video stating that this person is a criminal, or that they've done this to you, or they've done that to you, or that they are this or they are that. It's still not going to make them want to know you. In fact, it's worse. It's going to make that person want to do the same thing back. There's no point in making video after video after video saying, I don't want anything to do with you, don't talk about me, don't mention me, when they're already not mentioning you and they're not visiting your channel. It's very odd behaviour because it's not getting anywhere, it's venting spleen. And again, that's a very primal reaction, but it's not finding conflict resolution in any way. And if we were more practiced in this, and if we kept practicing this, it would be more of our default reaction, or our default action, not reaction. Exactly that. We would know to not sit in our reaction to what someone is doing. You cannot bully someone into doing something as an adult. It generally doesn't work. You can't keep saying to someone, I want you to associate with me. I want you to engage with me. I want to engage with me. I want you to engage with me. I want you to engage with me. Oh, you're such a hateful person. You're this now because you won't engage me. But now you're this. Now you're that. I tell you what, I'm going to call the police here. I'm going to say that you're a criminal. Do you know what? You're a this, you're a that. It's never going to work. And we've all done it, right? If we've been rejected by a lover or something, we've all tried that little bargaining thing, haven't we? If we're really truthful, we've all tried you're so terrible, and we've kind of thrown it back at them. You're so terrible. I'm going to say so and so how terrible you are, because they basically didn't want to be around you anymore. And that's normal. That's being a human being. But on YouTube, I've got to swap arms. In YouTube at the moment, it's all that's happening, and it's not working. You can't bully someone into behaving the way you want them to behave. And then what's just cheap and nasty is then not getting them to do what you want to do, and still being angry about it, and then going to make videos about them and then sliding away somewhere. It's like a sort of, YouTube is being used as a sort of diary for people, and for some people that's what their channel is, but for some people the diary is just one of open letters of sort of moaning about somebody, not being concise with their words, not being descriptive with their words. It's just abuse and sniping and sort of stupid things, rather than a genuine letter to someone. It's just very odd behaviour. As I say, the boundaries in this community for me have always been completely broken. Since day one I had abuse. Just the other day I had someone say to me, the first thing they said was, it's so good that you didn't breed. And it went on from there. And this is an adult saying that to another adult. And I'm in conversation with a few people, and specifically a person who I admire, and he's a very gracious person, and we talk about dogs and his building and all this kind of stuff, and he's always been very supportive to me, and I am supportive to him. I feel that him and his family should be left alone. And the one thing that angers me more than anything is the boundary that's been crossed to these people, that just because they went on to television, to Dr. Phil, to talk about their incredible family and talk about the trauma of what had happened, that people feel that they want to be part of them, that their opinion matters, that there's no boundary here, and they can say and do what they want to this family. They can even comment on what they think this family should do. Yes, I'll tell you what, I can't imagine what 4 people being murdered in my life is like, but I think I can imagine, so therefore I'm going to tell them what they really should be doing. That angers me more than anything, and that has angered me with AD's behaviour, his over-familiarity with people that he utterly degrades and insults. He's lying in the gutter looking down at people, and that's what he just cannot accept or learn. And that's one of the most unattractive elements of a person, and it's one of the most unattractive parts of YouTube, is that people feel that they're better than other people, and people feel that their opinion, everyone wants to hear it. If someone doesn't want to hear your opinion or your voice or know you, they have an absolute right to do that. If you've got a YouTube channel, people say, well, you've got to expect all of this, you've got to expect being called a slag on a daily basis. You've got to expect, well, I like this about you, but I don't like that about you. No. You don't go around calling people a slag. That's your responsibility to not do that. That you don't go around telling a grieving family how they should grieve. It's not their problem, it's your problem. It's a problem of the person trying to make them communication. That's the problem of that person. There's not a sort of thing that's happening between you. There's not a spat or a banter or an engagement. There's just one person not accepting that the other one doesn't want to engage. And it's very difficult to decipher on social media, because once someone feels scorned or they don't feel included and all of their need is not being met, because let's face it, that's what it is. It's a need in them. Once that need is not being met, anger comes, and the want to revenge comes, and the want to poke and poke and poke to get that person to acknowledge them, even if it's negative. So even if that person tells me to fuck off, they don't want anything to do with me, they've noticed me, yeah, result, winning. And that's a problem that person has, that they need to maybe get some help with. And it's got nothing to do with the innocent parties. So instead of lashing out and looking out, this community needs to start looking in more, because the only way out is in, is to start to look at one's own behaviour, how you are in the world, and what do you want from the world? Because in a way you shape your own reality, and if your reality every day is getting into arguments with people, constantly droning on and having circular conversations of this and that, you're going to do this, or go away this person and that, and it's over and over and over again about the same person, the same thing, then it's a problem. And it's a problem that only you can sort out. Because the other person isn't going round and round obsessing. And that's what it is. And people don't like to hear that. They go, oh, I'm not obsessed with her, I'm not obsessed with that person. But you are. If you're constantly going along, trying to get a reaction or a rise from that person or anyone around them, it is obsession. We've all been guilty of something, whether that be for a chocolate bar, whatever. We all had that thing about ruminating thoughts and wanting something so badly. And what these situations are is wanting acknowledgement. And sometimes that's enough, but once that person gets acknowledgement, then the greed grows. If they're obsessed with a person or obsessed with a certain result. Unfortunately, what has happened is these few people that constantly need affect, other people, healthier people. And it just gets to the point where you have to turn away, because there's nothing else to do. It's like trying to feed a ravenous dog. They're always going to be ravenous. So yeah, I don't know. What my ruminating is, I'm walking, I'm being fit, and there's a certain amount of crime happening. But I thought I'd talk about more behaviour. Fit of behaviour that we could all do something about. Only we're responsible for ourselves. And God, it's so easy to go, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. You've done this, I'm going to blame you. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to tell everyone this. Yes, hashtag this, let's do. Your life is your responsibility. Nobody else's. Nobody's. And the first step, what we can do is, oh man, look at all these bottles. It's so disgusting. Look, bottle after bottle after bottle. On a side note, we're all in lockdown, right? At weekends I do litter picking, so I'm going to start here on tomorrow, and I'll do a little video about that. Get outside, do a day of litter picking. You can do it with your kids, you can do it with your parents, you can do it with anyone. It's something to do, and it's something that you're doing to help the community that you live in. It's grimy work, so put on some gloves. But God, it's a great thing to do with the day. We're all in lockdown. Why not? Why can't we all go out for a day, take some bin bags, get some gloves, dress up warm, and just pick up the rubbish that people throw out their cars in your local area? Anyway, See, little things make you feel good, and little things can make you feel really, really bad. If you keep your side of the street clean, it feels much, emotionally, it feels much better than not. If you have resentment after resentment, or something against someone, it eats you up. It ruins your life. By the time you're 50, you're 60, you're ruined. At some point, you've got to be able to let things go, especially with people that you don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I just thought there was a way that we could, neatly tie this together. We could do a bit of litter picking in our community, right? And just put it in a bin bag and take it somewhere and dispose of it in a better way than dumping things all over everyone else. Anyway, food for thought, right? Have a good day, everyone. Bye.